Hi, I'm Callie and welcome to Kapowski Reads and happy Summerween, because I am filming this today on the 5th of July, which is Summerween, the start of Summerween, and I am planning to vlog every day of Summerween, and if all goes according to plan, this video is going to come up a week tomorrow. That's the plan. I'm putting it out there. I hope it happens. I hope so. I planned to film my intro for this video, tell you what I'm reading, then go out. I had a very exciting event planned for this morning, but what ended up happening was I decided I was going to finish reading a book that I wasn't overly enjoying instead, which meant that I didn't have any time to film before I went out. So I've already gone out, done the thing that I was going to tell you about. I will include footage because I got footage, so that's happening. I've already done the thing. I've come back. I'm exhausted because it's been a really exhausting first 6 months of the year. I haven't had a week off yet. I now finally have a week off and my brain is just gone, oh no, we're done. We're just done. So, Summerween books that I'm going to be reading. There are 5 prompts for Summerween. The first one is to read in the dark. I'm going to just kind of have this as a bit of a free prompt. Any book. I could read any book in the dark. I have a lamp. Next prompt is to read a thriller or a horror. I'm hoping to read Immaculate Conception by Ling Huang. My parents bought me this for my birthday, and this is going to be a creepy one about a woman who kind of can go inside another woman's brain. I love this author, so I am excited. I am going to read a book with the sky on the cover. I have a copy of The Compound by Rawle on NetGalley, so I'm going to be reading that. It is, as far as I'm aware, cross between kind of Big Brother meets Lord of the Flies. And I loved Lord of the Flies as a child. I also enjoyed Big Brother as a child, so could work. I've heard good things about this book. I think there must have been some sort of book tour or something for it because I've seen a lot of people talking about it, and that's made me quite excited to read it. I think it comes out next week, but who knows? Hopefully I'll have it read by release date, even though I'm not involved in any way with the release of it. Next is to read a book that has been on my radar, my reading list for over a year. When Ghosts Call Us Home by Katya de Becerra. I don't know how many times I've put this book on my reading list, my TBR, but I have had this on NetGalley since September 2023. It is a sort of ghost story, haunted house. We have sisters, one of whom has gone missing and was thought of having made a deal with the devil, and the other sister is like, I'm gonna find out what happened to you. That's all I know about it. That's all I remember. It's been so long since I requested it and I have genuinely wanted to read it. I just never... So many books, so little time. And the final prompt is to read a novella / manga / spooky audiobook. And I'm going with a novella called Mewing by Chloe Spencer. This is influencer related horror. We have Vixen, who would kind of give anything to be part of this really cool sounding collective in LA, a collective of the beautiful people, the influencers. And she ends up meeting a model called Margot and gets taken under her wing, and creepy things happen. The horrors. So it sounded good. It sounded my kind of thing. It's really short and I got this for like 99p. So I thought, why not? It sounds like something I'm gonna love. I'm really excited about all of these books. I actually thought my TBR was longer, but it's not. So I feel this is maybe achievable in a week. Who knows? But now I'm going to tell you about the fun thing I was going to tell you about had I filmed when I was going to film. A new bookshop has opened. Friends, it has finally happened. Aberdeen has an independent bookshop and I genuinely thought I was going to cry. I was so happy. We went to the new bookshop. It's called Somerville Books. I got a tote bag. I don't really use tote bags that often, but I really like, it's a new business in Aberdeen. I'm genuinely excited for it, and it's something that I'm really excited about. A bookshop, a new bookshop. I'm gonna go there, so I wanted to go there and like show support, but also get treats for me. You know, something for everyone. I had some birthday money. So my plan was I was going to go use my birthday money because birthday money isn't included in the budget. So it's free money. I spent £5, £6 more than my birthday money. So I actually only spent £6. So let's go through the books that I got. I got 5 books, which means I got a little stampy card. So I get 20% off of paperback next time I'm in, which is not to be sniffed at. Very excited about that. I got Milk Fed by Melissa Broder. I recently read another book by Melissa Broder, which was the Cactus one. Loved it. I wanted to read this book for a while, but I just never had a copy of it. Now I do. Lassus Nature by Chris Coppell. This is actually a book that I hadn't heard of. I just thought it sounded really good. Vampire rampage in a small Kentish town in high summer. It sounded delightful and creepy and like something I would really enjoy. Monstrillo by Gerardo Samano Cordova. I have wanted to read this for a wee while. I'm on a library waiting list, so I am going to take myself off of that. One of my friends recently bought this on audio and told me I would like it, and this is a friend who has very similar reading taste to me. So I am very excited about this. I know it's going to be a little bit dark, maybe a little bit emotional, but I'll be brave. Brainworms by Alison Rumfitt. The cover is a little bit horrific, but I'm here. I'm here for it. It sounds good, and yeah. And White Tears, Brown Scars by Ruby Hamad. I love reading non-fiction books about women, basically about women, and I thought that this would be really good, really like interesting, and yeah. I'm not going into too much detail about what these books are about, you may have noticed, because I know myself, and I know that if I start getting excited and sharing with you what these books are really about, I'm going to want to read them. And that means I'm not going to read the books that are on the list for Summerween that I want to read. We're not doing that. These will be included later. Maybe I'll do it for my next video. I also got some stickers. I've never really been a sticker girly because I've always sort of had that pressure of the sticker placement must be perfect. How do I choose the perfect place to put the sticker? I don't know. I don't want to mess up and put it on the wrong thing. But recently, I have started putting stickers on my water bottle. So that's happening. That's who I am now. I got this. Just because you pally can doesn't mean you pally should. It was just so silly. And I got this one because I think it was very fun. And I got a sticker for my friend who I hope is going to really like it. I did send her a picture of it. Not everyone can be neurotypical, Karen. And she found it amusing. So I have a gift to give away. Right. I am going to tie my hair up. It's getting wider because it's so humid and my hair just goes like Monica in Friends. It just goes so just big and fluffy. I'm going to tie my hair up. I'm going to actually start reading. I think I'm going to start with The Compound. I know I should start with When Ghosts Call Us Home, but my heart is saying I want to read The Compound right now. So that's how I'm going to start. And then I'm going to come back tomorrow, give you an update, hopefully feel slightly more with it because I feel dazed. I am starting this part of the video with an apology. Probably 2 apologies actually. One, what was going on in that first part of this video? I seem chaotic. Tiredness. That's what was going on. 2, I've already failed at daily vlogging because this is not Sunday. I have tried daily vlogging a few times and I just don't think it's for me. I'm not that person. My hair isn't brushed every day. I'm not wearing makeup every day. Yeah. The lighting also, yeah. I didn't daily vlog. I'm sorry. But I did something. I went to Pilates class. My neighbour is having work done right now. So, Tiny Mike, I'm hopeful that it's not going to get picked up by the microphone because they've literally just started sawing. They've been working since 7 a.m. I'm full of rage. Anyway, I went to Pilates and I have been saying that I was going to go to Pilates since June when this new studio opened because I saw a lot of people talking about it and I went, that sounds nice. I like Pilates. I do it at home with no skill, no talent, just enthusiasm. So I said I was going to go and then I worked myself up and I didn't go. But then I did go. I went on Monday and I had a great time. It was lovely. Everybody was nice. Everyone was really supportive, even though I was basically like a little turtle that was trapped upside down on its shell, just trying to wiggle because my core, I have no core. Everybody was like thin, gorgeous, like just so toned, and I'm there haunting the room with my paleness. But regardless of that, everyone was so nice and just so like welcoming, and I had a great time. And I will go back. In fact, I did go back. Went back the next day, did another workout, and oh, my core, she burns. But I had a great time. So all of that is just to say I did a thing I've been saying I was going to do for months. I had a great time. Probably should have just gone in June, but I was really anxious. Anyway, let's get on to books. You're not here to listen to me talk about how anxious I was about going to a Pilates class. I have 2 book updates to do. I'm going to start with my least favourite by quite a margin, which was The Compound. I have seen this book being talked about all over Bookstagram, so I went in kind of excited. I swear that when I got an advanced copy of this from NetGalley, it said it was a cross between Lord of the Flies and Big Brother. But when I went to mark it on Goodreads, it said it was a cross between Lord of the Flies and Love Island. I don't watch Love Island. I watched Love Island back in ye olden days when it had celebrities like Jane Middlemiss and Paul Danan. The word celebrity is being used fast and loose here. But haven't watched any of the like current like iterations of Love Island. So I didn't really know what to expect, and I was a little, ooh, okay. The book started with a George Orwell quote. So I was like, oh, this is going to be good. It's going to be really like intense. I'm going to have a great time. And I did not have a great time. I feel in my heart that this book is possibly the worst book I have read this year. Enjoyment wise, I enjoyed this the least, I think, out of everything I've read in 2025, which at this point is over 60 books. So, yes. Basically, I quizzed my friends. This book is just Love Island. There's not a lot of drama. It's set in a dystopian world, but we know nothing of the dystopian world because you're not allowed to talk about the world outside. All I know is there's a dystopian world. Would be nice for that to be somewhat relevant, but it's not. I know that there is a war happening somewhere, or war has happened. Don't know who it's between, don't know who's involved. We don't know what kind of dystopian environment this is either, but the main character works in the beauty section of a department store, and somebody is a lifeguard. So from that, I know that they live in a world where there are department stores and there is water freely available because they have a need for a lifeguard. So I was a bit confused about the kind of outside world. I thought there was maybe going to be, I don't know, I just had hoped for that to be relevant. There was some drama, but it was just your usual dating reality show drama. It was very predictable. And there was a man who walked in basically doing like flag dance with his red flags. So when there was like a big twist and a grand reveal, it didn't feel like a grand reveal because, well, I had assumed that was going to happen anyway. Saw it coming from the big red flags being waved. I knew it was coming. I just felt very bored by this book, and it was very easy to put down, so I couldn't put it down. I had to just finish it. And I finished it. I gave it half a star, and I didn't like anything about it. I would struggle to say anything nice other than the cover was pretty cute. But I know people who have read it and they liked it. So reviews are just subjective. I didn't like it at all, but I know people who really liked it. I don't know. But then all is not lost, because I read a book that I did really like, which was my novella pick, Mewing. This novella. This focuses on Vixen, who would give anything to join the Bleach Babes, who are a collective of the beautiful people, the influencers. And she finds herself taken under the wing of the Bleach Babes. She's welcomed in with open arms. And she starts a relationship with Margot, who is like the leader of the Bleach Babes, of the collective. And we just get to see how Vixen gets used to her new celebrity status, her new fame. And this was just a fantastic look into what people are willing to do for celebrity, what people are willing to give up, and how some people are willing to just lose themselves in search of clicks, share, likes, and subscribes. And it was very interesting and very topical. It feels very apt for like this current day and time, where you have so many people that are getting that sort of like social media fame. I think this book really kind of, I know it's horror, but it showed the darker side, and there were some parts that I feel could be, a toe in reality rather than fiction. I thought this was fantastic. I really liked the characters. I really liked that there was quite a bit of character development for a really short book. Vixen just completely changed who she was. And the book was very quick to go into chaos. And I could not have predicted the ending. The ending of this was wild. There was also some kind of culty vibes, which I want. I want that. I want gorgeous people culty vibes. Thank you. And I got that from this. And I really liked the dialogue. I liked the characters. I liked the relationships. I just had a really good time with this. It was a fun kind of, I would want to say this is like a beach read. I have more book updates. I'm filming in the kitchen. This is my fridge. There's still work being done, and I put a lot of faith into the tiny microphone and hoped that it would not pick up like an electric saw. Basically, I think they're getting their bathroom done. Maybe, I don't know. The rage I have, because it's still going on and it's still loud. So I'm at the kitchen, which is at the other side of the house, but somebody's banging. Somebody's hammering, and I'm just like, oh, please, just some peace would be lovely. Anyway, I finished another book. I finished When Ghosts Call Us Home. We had a plan to avoid the noise, to escape, really. We were going to go for a walk, and we wanted to, I wanted to go to the University Gardens, which is Cruikshank Botanic Garden. It's near Aberdeen Uni. It's on my list of things I want to do in summer. So I thought, well, we'll take a journey. We'll go on an adventure there. And my plan was I was going to read a little in the Botanic Gardens because they're so pretty. And I kind of dressed so that I could hide amongst the flowers. I forgot my book. My Kindle's been playing up. It's been crashing a lot. because my Kindle is like 12 years old, I think. It's really old. And she just couldn't take it. I don't know if it's maybe the heat, but just crashed, and I forgot that I'd put her on to charge, as a treat to try and fix it. And I forgot to put my Kindle back in my bag. So we got to the Botanic Garden and I had nothing to read. So we took a gorgeous walk. We went to the Arboretum, which I've never been to because I just couldn't find it. It's up a hill. It's up a hill. Go away that makes you think you're not supposed to go there, and there's a gate. You're totally allowed to go there. It's so pretty. I love a garden. I love a wood. I love a forest. I was in my element. Most importantly, in the shade. Gorgeous. If you haven't been, if you're in Aberdeen and you're near the uni, go to the gardens. Delightful. We also went for lunch because I had nothing to read. So, lunch. And I got the most delicious thing I have eaten this month. I don't know if it's all year, but it's in the top 3. It was a crap. I think it was like a buckwheat crap. And it had ham, mushrooms, brie, and an egg on top. The egg was dippy, which is very important because I love a dippy egg. It was amazing. It was just so light, filling, delicious. Then I came home and I read my book. I have finished When Ghosts Call Us Home, and I am an idiot for not reading this book when I got it in 2023 because I could have been enjoying it years ago and I didn't. The idiot is me. This is a YA horror, and do not let that fool you. I've seen a few people that say that YA horror is not scary. Those are some brave people because I found this to be incredibly creepy. And I just love a haunted house book. I love it. We have a main character, her name is Sophia, and when she was 12, she starred in her sister's film, which was a sort of haunted house ghosty story. And this film basically got a cult following. Years later, her sister, Layla, the director, goes missing. And Sophia, to try and find out what happens, she agrees to participate in a documentary which is about her sister and about the film, which was called Vermilion, but is referred to as V by the very, very passionate fan base. And Sophia agrees to this purely so that she can get back to the house where the film took place and do her own detective work. This book is set into parts, and each part definitely amps up the tension, and I had a fantastic time. The documentary, kind of weird because it basically ends up being them reshooting Vermilion, almost frame for frame, which was weird because that's an odd documentary, but I'm not here to judge, I'm here to enjoy. We have this really cool, so the film has a cult following, and there's this website devoted to the film where people feel it's real, and there is a thing called The Path, which was kind of giving me down the Witch's Road vibe, which is a very good thing because I loved Agatha all along. And people can basically follow the path, and you do all of these steps, and eventually you meet Vermilion, the ghosty demon character, and you get like a wish. So that was really interesting, and we get to follow Sophia as she follows her own The Path. Meanwhile, Sophia's also trying to process what happened. She was a child filming a horror film. She's got some issues going on. It was a little disorienting, but in the best kind of way. I love when a book is sort of ambiguous and leaves you wondering, is this real? Is this fake? Is this happening in their head? Are these conversations really happening? What on earth is going on? It left a lot sort of up to the reader to determine, is it all in your head, Sophia? Or is it real? And I really like that. I love the haunted elements. It gave me so many creepy vibes. I love a grand haunted home. There were periods of like blackout, memory loss, which I felt really added to the story because what happened? What is happening in those times? Because nobody else has noticed that you don't remember those times. It was so, so good. Love the characters, love the relationships. There's a little bit of a romance that normally I'm not the biggest fan of. I love love. I love romance and like life. But in fiction, I sometimes feel that when there's a romance storyline, it pulls focus away from what I personally want from the book, which is chaos. I want chaos. I want ghosty vibes. But I felt that the romance really did add to this book and it was really nice. And Arthur seemed like a sweet kid. So I'm okay with the romance here. The ending was a bit abrupt, but I got what I personally wanted from the ending, even if it was leaving me with a lot of questions. A lot. But I had a good time. I recommend this. If you like a creepy haunted house book with some sisterly relationships and an omnipotent ghost, give this a wee read. It was fun. I have one book left for Summerween, which is arguably the book I have been the most excited about, Immaculate Conception, and that is my plan for the rest of the week, is to read that book because I have loved Ling Huang before and I have no doubt I'm going to love her again. And yeah, that's my plan. I am stood in front of a fan. I don't know why this did not occur to me until now, but it has, and this is the greatest idea I've ever had. There is a fan behind my camera, so my little jellyfish tendrils will wave. I have finished Immaculate Conception by Ling Huang. This is my last book of Summerween, so I suppose Summerween is over for me now. That's kind of sad. But I'm ending on a 5-star read because I loved this book. And I had the most amazing reading experience with this. I got the plot of this a little bit not wrong. I've been saying that this book is about two friends, one of whom goes into the other one's mind. And that does happen, but there's so much more to the book than that. This focuses on two friends, artists, Enka and Mathilde. They live in a somewhat futuristic, perhaps dystopian version of our world where technology has come on in leaps and bounds. And Enka is from sort of the outskirts. She's a fringe kid, which basically means that she grew up without access to a lot of resources and entertainment that everybody else took for granted, such as art. So for Enka to go to art school where she meets Mathilde, that's kind of amazing. It's something that nobody really expected to happen for her. Mathilde is somewhat of an art prodigy and everybody kind of wants to be her friend, and Enka ends up being the sort of chosen bestie. The book is split into 3 parts. The first part really focuses on building this relationship between Enka and Mathilde, where Mathilde is she's not all well, and Enka is sort of nurturing to her and takes care of her, and you see their friendship grow into one of just real sort of sisterly love. And it's really just laying the foundations there so that you know that they are truly really, really good friends. We sort of dither between their student days and a couple of years afterwards where Mathilde has gone missing. And Enka has found herself married, she's got kids, she's part of this very powerful family, but she still is very caring towards Mathilde and she just wants to look after her friend, make sure she's okay, find out she's missing, what happened. We then learn about a procedure that means that you can bridge one brain to another. basically. And that means that you can share the pain if somebody is really struggling with trauma. A problem shared is a problem halved kind of idea. And that is the sort of brain inside a brain that we're talking about here, where the pain is shared. And I did not expect this book to hit so hard. It was very just powerful. It does focus on friendship between the two women. It focuses on grief and the way that that just hits people differently, and how everyone's got a different way of dealing with things, and what makes sense to somebody will not make sense to somebody else. But it kind of doesn't matter. You have to do what works for you. There is a huge focus on body autonomy and consent and doing the right thing, and that the right thing may not actually be the right thing. It just gets you what you want, but you have to think of other people. You can't be selfish. You have to take into consideration other people's feelings, and you can't lose yourself while trying to find yourself. Enka goes through the biggest character change in this book. She grows so much from this sort of timid young woman who doesn't feel like she belongs in this prestigious art school to basically being a star among the art community, all the while she has her best friend by her side. And I love this. I ugly sobbed in the last third of this book, and it is such a thought-provoking book that I think is really going to stick with me. I don't read a lot of books that focus on technology, and the technology in this book, I don't know how science fiction-y it felt, because it felt like, it was a bit too realistic for my liking. I also kind of loved that the villains of the piece were not necessarily wasn't black and white. Everyone was a little bit villainy, everyone was a little bit heroic, and I just had the best time. I loved Natural Beauty by Ling Huang, and I loved Immaculate Conception. I loved the art in this book. It was just so descriptive, and just a lot of it was just really beautiful. I usually reserve my declaration of favourite / auto by authors until I have had 3 5-star ratings from an author. I've only had 2 from this author, but she only has 2 books, and they were both such strong reads for me that I'm declaring it now. And nobody can stop me, because it's my own rule. I'm declaring Ling Huang as one of my auto by authors. So, next time they have a book, this is just out, I don't know if they'll have another book anytime soon, I will be buying it when they do though. So I have finished 4 books over Summerween, and I kind of like the way that I have accidentally read them in the order of least favourite to most favourite, because I started with a half a star read, and then I had 2 4 stars, and now I'm finishing on a 5, and that is the best way to finish. I would say any reading vlogs, finishing on a high while your jellyfish hair tendrils are blowing in the wind created by your fan. Let me know if you've read any of these books, or if you plan to read any of them. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to go and get out of the daylight. Bye!